16th, 2020. I want to welcome everybody to our Lee County Bar Association, our annual Pro Bono Awards. Obviously, as you can tell, this is, as we've done many times this year, a first for us in the Bar Association, that this is undoubtedly our first virtual awards ceremony for one of our favorite events we like to have every year. And I've lamented many times our inability to get together in person and share these events. This is probably the one I miss the most, or one of the ones I miss the most, getting together and sharing this event together in person with everybody. But this is our Pro Bono award ceremony, where we get an opportunity to celebrate a lot of our pro bono superstars and really a lot of the unsung heroes kind of in our legal profession that have gone out of their way this year and in past years, where obviously this year it means so much more given what's going on in our world today, who have gone out of their way to provide pro bono legal services to those in the most need. So today is our day to recognize those folks, and I couldn't be more excited to do that today. As we like to do, but in a virtual setting now, we'll start things off with our Pledge of Allegiance. And given that we're all in our offices, please don't feel the need to stand. But if you place your hand over your heart and recite the pledge with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for that. And now I want to introduce one of our county court judges, esteemed members of our judiciary here in Lee County, to lead us in a invocation this afternoon, Judge Archie Hayward. Judge Hayward.
Unmute.
And you're muted, Judge Hayward. There we go.
Just all right.
There you go. We got you now.
Hello, everyone. Would you bow your heads? We thank you, Heavenly Father, for guiding us here today. We thank you for bringing us together to walk in your way. We thank you for all that you've done for us and all that you will do for us. Please bless us all, and thank you for your many blessings. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Judge Hayward. Now we have a special surprise that we've been kind of hinting at for today's presentation. If you had not heard by now, the president is in Fort Myers. That is correct. Our president is in Fort Myers visiting town just for this occasion. And I cannot express my excitement that our president has agreed to join us here on this virtual call today to be with us for our virtual awards ceremony. And of course, I'm speaking about the president of the Florida Bar, Dory Foster Morales. So President Foster Morales, or Dory, as she likes to be called, thank you for joining us today, and please take a moment to say a few words.
Matthew, thank you so much, and thank you for asking me to join you. I'm sorry I'm not the president of the United States, but I am president of the Florida Bar in this virtual world that we're living in, and I'm so thrilled to be here on this really important day when you celebrate pro bono in Lee County. So thank you for the beautiful invocation, Judge. Thank you for the beautiful introduction. Put a smile on my face. Thank you for using my first name. And so good afternoon to everyone here, and thank you for inviting me here today to celebrate and honor pro bono and the pro bono superstars of Lee County, who have clearly dedicated countless hours to serve others in need of legal services. So important. You know, each and every day, Florida lawyers selflessly give their time and expertise to help those in need, including veterans and active members of the military, the homeless, hurricane victims, the elderly, folks with disabilities, neglected children, so many more. You might have even seen that the Florida Bar was honored this week for being a great employer of those folks with disabilities. It's really important. So not just working for and on behalf of, but with folks that are really a great big part of our community. In every single case, every single one of them, that pro bono lawyer has made a difference in somebody's life. and impacted a family and given hope that someone cares. And you all really do inspire, me and everyone at the bar to do more. I wanted to say that during, just give some perspective on kind of pro bono by Florida lawyers. In the last fiscal year, 2019 to 2020, Florida lawyers contributed more than 1.2 million hours of pro bono services to people in need, and 6.4 million of additional dollars to legal aid organizations. It's individuals doing that kind of giving. And most of you who know me, and I don't know how many of you out there have ever met me before, but if you have, you know that I care greatly about mental health and wellness of Florida lawyers. And the one thing that makes people feel good, I know because the evidence shows it and all the data shows it, is doing good for others. Believe it or not, when you get out of your own way and do something good for someone else, actually makes you feel really good. And so it tells me that a lot of lawyers out there feel pretty good about themselves, at least in this area. The Florida bar is always in need of volunteer attorneys for free legal answers online, the clinic that we have online, and for the young lawyer divisions, disaster relief hotline. And you all know that we just seem to have more and more disasters and FEMA issues every year. The purpose of free legal answers is to increase access to advice and information about non-criminal legal matters for those who can't afford it. So it's really not a lot of work to even just answer a phone call or two if someone has a question. It's incredible how much knowledge we have that we can help someone with just a single phone call. And the YLD is currently seeking volunteers to assist the Panhandle residents who've yet again been impacted by a hurricane this year, Hurricane Sally. And finally, the Florida Bar is also accepting nominations for our 2021 Pro Bono Awards. And I guess we'll see if those are going to be virtual as well. They're usually in the ceremonial courtroom of the Florida Supreme Court, and really an exciting time to be in Tallahassee. But regardless, however we do it, I really do encourage you to think about folks you can nominate, deserving judges and attorneys, voluntary bar associations, and law firms that have really done a great job in the pro bono arena. And the next deadline for that is just around the corner. It's on October 22nd, so it's very timely. And nomination forms can be held on our website, can be found on our website with a link on our homepage. So I wanted to, again, thank you for having me here, allowing me to see the great things that are going on in Lee County. And with that, I will allow the agenda to proceed. So I look forward to hearing about all the great things that are going on in Lee County today.
Well, thank you so much, Dory, or formerly Madam President. Thank you for being here, and thank you for taking your time to join us today, and for your leadership across the state and every one of our bar associations. It means a lot to us for you to be here and join us for this. Want to also take a moment to recognize our great annual sponsors. For those of you who do take the time to read my column, those few of you in the Rest Just Day every month, you'll know how much we lean on and we rely on our sponsors and how much we love them. So I want to give a quick opportunity to recognize those folks. We got a great list, have been with us for a long time. Sandcap, Sanibel Captiva Community Bank, Kelleher Law Firm, Jim for Justice, I think it is, or Justice Jim, great sponsor. Fine people at Edison National Bank, Copy Lady, Danny and Cynthia Dietrich are great sponsors. Henderson Franklin, Stards and Holt, celebrating their 200th year here in Fort Myers in Lee County, great sponsor. Bank of the Ozarks, Gray Robinson, Boy Agnew Patanovic, Boyle Leonard Anderson, Mike Raheb, law offices Mike Raheb, one of our past presidents, John Webb Legal Group, always a great sponsor, always stepping up for us. Fort Myers Court Reporting, U.S. Legal Support for our great depositions for all of our practitioners, along with Fort Myers Court Reporting. Conrick PR and Marketing, who does a fantastic job with our Rest Just Day and supporting the bar. And Frankie Loy and Ty and those guys over at Royal, Roland LaBelle, and Morgan PLLC, all fantastic sponsors. And to be honest with you, they have had unwavering support for us even through difficult economic times, and we couldn't do what we do at the Bar Association without them. So one last thing before we get into announcing our pro bono superstars and our award recipients. We are recording today's event. Probably should have said that at the beginning, but I figured you all knew from you've done enough of these Zooms, the red light. at the top. We are recording today's event. It's going to be on YouTube, so you'll be famous. You'll go viral. And then at the end, we are going to do a screenshot of a picture for all those here who have joined us. So if you need to fix your hair or anything like that before the end of the presentation, please feel free to do that, because we are going to take a screenshot of this. So don't go anywhere when this is over, so we can take our picture. Want to reintroduce the Honorable Archie Hayward, our Lee County judge, great pro bono advocate, who is going to read off and introduce us to the Pro Bono Superstar Award recipients for 2020. So Judge Hayward, whenever you're ready.
All right. Hello, everyone. And excuse me, I'm doing double duty here. I'm at the Supervisor of Elections office, as I am the alternate to chair for the canvassing board. And let me just trying to get the light right here. We are in the midst of checking the ballots to match the signatures and also match the voting. So I'm here just to thank you for all your service for pro bono. And we really need that help, especially in these times. And it's been such a great opportunity to chair the Circuit Pro Bono Committee. And we have so many hardworking people who come irregardless of or regardless of what they're doing in their busy schedule. They come and give us time to help try to coordinate what's going on in our circuit. And we're not as big as we want to be, but we have a big idea about what we can do with pro bono work. So I'm just thankful that the people who have joined us and anyone who's out there who's willing to join us, you're welcome to join our committee because we have a lot of stakeholders that are involved in providing the pro bono services. So we are going to try to work throughout this COVID situation because we have noticed that there are a lot of people who, especially in the landlord-tenant area, need legal assistance. And so we hope to make sure we help everyone that needs to be helped in getting some legal assistance. All right, thank you. I'll turn it back over to the president.
Thank you, Judge Hayward. And if we could share the screen to recognize our great pro bono award recipients today. If we can get the screen share going.
Sorry, I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties here. So just, if you want to go ahead, I promise I will get it up.
No worries. I'll go ahead and read the names, and you gotta love some Zoom. In alphabetical order, some of our pro bono superstar award recipients for 2020: Miss Isabel Barroso, Mr. Albert Batista, Miss Norma Han-Brill, Miss Carla Campos Anderson, who I know is with us and joining on the call. Carla, good to see you. Mr. Bruce Connolly, Mr. Jay Cooper, Miss Teresa Daniels, Miss Indira Demine, who also helps head up our newly formed immigration law section, is doing a great job. Miss Blair Domenico, Miss Shay Diaz. Shay, good to see you on here. Miss Ashley Ferrone. We've got a Lee County Bar past president, Miss Kelly Fayer. Miss Eunice Gideon Linnett. Eunice, great to see you. Mr. Kerry Goggin. Mr. Donald Isaac, thank you for joining us today, and thank you for all you do and your past record of service for us. Mr. Luke Johnson, Mr. Richard Johnson, Miss Eve Kushiko, Mr. Jeffrey Coons, Miss Marianne LaPera, Miss Eviana Martin, Miss Lisa Musial, Mr. Gregory Nussbeckel, Miss Antoinette, or as she goes by, Tony Peck, Mr. Rich Riccardi, Mr. Jeff Rice, everybody's favorite NFL referee, Miss Kayla Richmond, Mr. Andres Rodriguez, Mr. Travis Russell. Kaylin Travis, great to see you on here. Miss Beth Ann Ty Sexton, Miss Alexis Sitka, Mr. Stephen Spence, Mr. John Casey Stewart, Mr. Doug Zabo. Doug, great to see you on here, as well as Miss Shanae Thompson. Shanae, hope you're doing well. Miss Christine Wright, Mr. Mark Yeslow, and Mr. Robert Young. Bob, thank you for being here. Thank you for all your hard work. I just want to take a moment to recognize all those folks. Normally, in a group setting, we would be recognizing these people in person and handing them nice plaques and nice awards, recognizing their service. They will not go away empty-handed. They will all get their recognition in the mail, completely disinfected, contactless delivery. So don't worry about that. You will be receiving your awards, but even though you're all on mute, you're not going to hear it. Let's all give those award recipients a nice round of applause and thank you for your service. You hear my golf clap. Thank you all. Fantastic job this year. Absolutely fantastic job. I could probably spend the entire afternoon and into the weekend talking about each one of their cases and all they've done. Obviously, we can't go through each one, but rest assured you saw how long that list was. And it's a long list, and it's the list that we're extremely, extremely proud of. Like I said, especially in this year when it is so very much needed. I want to go ahead and reintroduce and kick it back over to Dory, who's going to help introduce our Pro Bono Superstar Leader Award recipients. And again, we'll try and get the screen share and PowerPoint going if we can.
So thanks again for allowing me to participate in this great session of honoring those that have given back to those less fortunate. And I'm here to now introduce the Pro Bono Leader Award recipients. I'm not sure of the difference between this category and the other, but it looks like you have some really amazing folks with various pro bono organizations and voluntary bar organizations that have done great pro bono work. And with that, I will introduce the honorees. First, Miss Ethel Wells with Florida Rural Legal Services for the Pro Bono Superstar Service Leader Award. Next is Andrew Banyay with Lee County Legal Aid, another Pro Bono Superstar Service Leader Award. Now this one's a killer. Mr. Peter Nyes with the Lee County Bar Association, Pro Bono Superstar Liaison Award, and I get some sort of Pro Bono award if I got that right. Thank you for your service. Ms. Shanti Bala with the Lee County Bar Association Pro Bono Superstar Committee Leader Award. And of course, Ms. Tiffany Pereira in Miami. It's done differently than Lee County. Pereira, I guess, is the way it's done in Lee County. It's Pineda in Miami. Again, Lee County Bar Association Young Lawyers, Pro Bono Superstars YLD Leader Award, the future of our bar. So thank you, Tiffany, for your service. The Honorable, of course, Archie Hayward Jr. with the 20th Circuit Pro Bono Committee, Pro Bono Superstar Advocacy Award Judge. Thank you for your service and all your leadership in the area of pro bono.
Thank you, Dory, and thank you for introducing those folks. And look at that, we got a PowerPoint slide coming up. Fantastic.
Let's go through it.
So the difference, so everyone knows, the list of names that I read off were our individual award recipients. All these folks that Dory just named off and who are going to give us just some quick remarks are really the leaders or figureheads or organizational heads of each one of our pro bono organizations here in town that provide either legal services to those in need or pro bono services. These are the folks who coordinate our events. They help with Law Week. What we used to do is Law on the Mall, which we do in normal years, with all of our outreach, community outreach for those in need. these are the folks who are mainly responsible, along with their teams, for making sure all those events get set up, and more of the kind of unsung and mostly unrecognized throughout the year organizations. So I want to give everybody on that list a brief chance for about 3 minutes to make some remarks and tell us a little bit about this year, and just update us on their activities. So first, I saw Ethel is on, but either Ethel or Ms. Carolyn Fabrizio, from Florida Rural Legal Services.
Okay, so Ethel invited me so kindly. Ethel does all the hard work, and then she invites the executive director or myself to come and address you, which is just all the fun part. So Ethel's incredible, as all of you know, but on behalf of Florida Rural Legal Services, Ethel Wells, and our executive director, Jaffe Pickett, we really want to extend a deep and sincere thank you to Judge Hayward and the 20th Circuit Pro Bono Committee for their dedicated brainstorming, Linda Doggett, the Clerk of Court and Comptroller, for her ongoing partnership and support of our mission to provide equal access to the courts, the Lee County Legal Aid, Andrew and his team for their collaboration, Lauren with the Lee County Bar Association, and our pro bono chairs and liaisons for their ongoing work to promote pro bono services among the Lee County Bar Association, and of course all of you, the members of the Lee County Bar Association, who have donated both your time and resources to Florida Rural Legal Services. Your partnership really does increase our impact. And we all know that this has been a really challenging 8 months. And at the beginning of the pandemic, our executive director immediately put into place our disaster plan, and we were able to transition to remote work, which allowed us to social distance with staff rotating schedules, to work in person at our offices to follow CDC guidelines. But with your help, we were able to continue and even expand our services. So through your generous support, we were able to transition our pro bono in-person clinics to remote clinics and create even new clinics where many of you volunteered to call clients and provide advice and case review by telephone. And during this unprecedented time, your generosity really made an immediate impact on the lives of all of your neighbors seeking help from our organization, as well as the Lee County Legal Aid. So today, all of the honorees that you heard their names being recognized for their outstanding commitment have just done so much. And it's so fun for me to see everyone, either their pictures or see them in person. And then I see the names and I remember cases that Ethel's told me about, and we just can't even express to you the number of lives that you've changed. Over this past year, all of you beautiful pro bono attorneys dedicating your time have helped with consumer matters, bankruptcy, emergency estate planning, probate to save homes, family law matters, including injunctions for protection, eviction and foreclosure defense, and some of you have even assisted senior citizens with contractor issues and other scams, which we've seen a lot of. So all of these pro bono clients would have had nowhere to turn without you, our pro bono attorneys, that we really rely on so much. I wanted to give you just one example of a pro bono case that started from tragedy, where a pro bono attorney, one of your colleagues, made a meaningful impact. There was a mother of 4 young children, and we'll call her Vicky. She dropped off her children at her mother's home for a visit, and tragically that night she was shot and killed. The children stayed living with their maternal grandmother, but she was not able to enroll them in school or attend to their medical needs, as she had no legal authority to care for them. One of the children even required emergency medical care due to a heart problem, and that is how the grandmother sought pro bono help. To complicate matters further, the children had 3 different fathers and were in danger of not being able to stay together with the maternal grandmother. The pro bono attorney filed 4 separate guardianship cases and established the maternal grandmother as the guardian, even though one of the fathers filed a family law case and another one of the fathers attempted to intervene in 2 of the guardianship cases. The petitions prevailed, and the guardianships naming the grandmother were ordered. And when the guardianships were finally official, this shows how these clients touch the lives of all of you pro bono attorneys as well. The pro bono attorney wanted to do something more for the family, and she asked her paralegal to call the grandmother and ask her a series of sneaky questions to find out what the family liked to do together. When the grandmother came to the office to receive the order appointing her as guardian, the pro bono attorney surprised her with a gift basket containing gift certificates for activities the family enjoyed. And what is so incredible is after so many hours and time and just the compassion that the attorney had to give to this case, when she was asked about the case, the attorney said, being able to figure out how to obtain medical treatment for the little girl's heart condition made me realize how grateful I am to be an attorney. My education and training allowed me to assist this very special family, and it is an absolute honor to accept pro bono cases. So that is just one small example, and I will share with you that that attorney happens to be Kelly Fair, one of your former presidents. But I really feel, and I know Ethel feels the same way, that her case is indicative of the way not only do you as pro bono attorneys change the lives of your clients, but they also change your lives too. So just to give you a little recap about what's happened over this past year, members of the Lee County Bar Association, working through Florida Rural Legal Services, donated attorney time with a value of over $219,000 in free legal services to the community. And we know that this value of services is underreported because many of you may provide services on your own and you do not report that to us. And then we can't recognize you today, which we want to do for all of your important work. But not only do we want to recognize you for your important pro bono work, but we also wanted to take this opportunity to remind you that for your pro bono cases, we will screen your pro bono client for financial eligibility, provide malpractice insurance coverage, reimburse you for certain litigation costs and expenses, and provide other support services as needed, as well as track your hours for reporting to the Florida Bar. So if you do not already volunteer through Frills, we are asking that if you will join your colleagues and you will join our panel. And it's so easy to join our pro bono panel. You can send an email to Ethel, and I have to do this plug, but you can send an email to Ethel or to probono@frls.org, and it's that easy. So in Lee County alone, the U.S. Census Bureau reports that there are over 100,000 individuals living in poverty who cannot afford an attorney when a legal problem arises. Between Florida Rural Legal Services and the Lee County, the Legal Aid Society of Lee County, we cannot meet the legal needs of the community without all of you. And we really do consider all of you, our pro bono attorney volunteers, to be an extension of our staff. You expand our reach and the impact we can make to truly make a difference in the community. Over this past year, we have been collaborating with the Lee County Legal Aid, and Andrew may tell you more about this wonderful project. We've collaborated with the Lee County Legal Aid, Family Haven, which is a 501c3, and members of your association to create a Grandparents Raising Grandchildren Pro Bono project that we called Super Grands. And the project saw our first client a week ago. We're expanding this project now, and it will not only serve grandparents, but this is the type of collaboration that shows what we can do when we all work together. As Judge Hayward stated, we're also seeing an unprecedented eviction crisis due to the impact of COVID-19 on employment. And the National Housing Law Center is estimating that 45% of renter households in Florida are facing eviction. So whether you're a current pro bono volunteer or you're thinking about volunteering, now is the time to really help us and partner with us and see what it's all about. We offer free CLE training, so we will get you prepared to meet whatever the legal needs are of the community. And I just wanted to take a final moment to especially thank Ethel Wells, our pro bono coordinator, for her longtime dedication and commitment to improving the lives of others through pro bono partnerships. Her passion and dedication to promoting access to justice really is a model for everyone who knows her. And I just can't thank her enough for everything that she does. And she always does it with a smile on her face and never gets down. And just so that you know, if she's calling you to take a case, she may have called 10 other attorneys before you, but she still always has that wonderful smile in her voice and just never gives up on the clients. And so I want to thank you again and thank Ethel and all of you who answer her call for help and for your ongoing commitment to pro bono service and changing lives while we work to advance justice together. Thank you for inviting us today.
Carolyn, that's fantastic. Fantastic. And thank you to you and thank you to Ethel and for your whole team at Florida Rural Legal Services. Thank you especially for sharing that story. And we all know why we're here and why we're here to celebrate, but it's always so impactful to hear the actual examples of what's been going on in the community. And those who do pro bono know they're usually not the easiest cases in the world. They're not simple cases. And difficult to do. So thank you for sharing that with us. And thank you for all you do and for being here. Now I want to give Mr. Andrew Banya, who you just referenced, a great segue. Andrew's at the head of Lee County Legal Aid Society. And Andrew, if you take a few minutes just to give us an update on your year and pro bono activities that you all have been engaged in.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate that introduction. Welcome, Dory. Pleasure to have you here. I think there are at least a handful of people here who actually prefer to have you than the president that I hear honking. As a speaker, I think I'm probably one of them because I probably would have been interrupted 4 or 5 times already if it were the former. But anyway, I'm really glad to address you all here today. It's been, as Matt mentioned, kind of a strange year. Strange year for his presidency. It's a strange year for pro bono service in general. Many of you have heard me in the past evangelize, for lack of a better word, a new model that we've undertaken it in partnership with Linda Doggett, the clerk of the court at the Justice Center, where in 20 to 30-minute sessions, we just rapid fire help everybody that we can that's scheduled for a consultation there. Last year, we were able to provide over 600 people with consultations and in many cases direct representation based on that model. The neat thing about the model is you can kind of take your prospective pro bono client for a test drive, as it were, by sort of asking them questions, getting a sense from them of the case rather than, it may provide some advantages to just the paper model. And what we found is that the new Zoom model that we've been forced to adopt actually comports incredibly well with it, because now you can join if you just have 20 minutes to spare, you just want to do 1 session. Maybe you have 45 and you just want to do 2, but from wherever you are, all you have to do is sit at your laptop and click a link, and suddenly you're doing pro bono service. And in fact, one of the cases that we see may inspire you to take the leap and do direct representation for that person. So it actually, while there are certain disadvantages to the Zoom model, certainly in terms of reviewing documentation, there are tremendous advantages in allowing inclusivity for volunteer attorneys, some of whom we've had over and over again, who are, two of our regular attorneys were vacationing in Maine for a month, and they came every week. So that's something that's been really neat, kind of a side effect of the COVID and the Zoom revolutions. We are really excited to be involved in a collaboration with Florida Rural Legal Services, as well as the law office of Kelly Fair. And everybody knows Kelly, and I think probably, I don't know what percentage of us knew that we were hearing about Kelly when we started hearing about her. It's not, there's no one else in town who would do that, but that sort of story has Kelly written all over it. So thank you, Kelly Fair, for that. And absolutely, there's just, as I think Carolyn mentioned, there's no way we can possibly serve everybody who needs to be served. There's pro bono service to go around for everybody. And there's different models needed to fit different tracks needed to get to different destinations. So it takes a village, and we're happy to be a part of this village for the last 52 years. And we hope that we can be part of it for the next 52 at least. Thank you.
Andrew, I appreciate it. And I know a lot of us at the beginning of the year were scratching our head, trying to figure out how we were going to carry on pro bono services, being that largely involved either walk-in or meet face-to-face consultations, but absolutely hats off to you at Legal Aid Society and other organizations who have adapted and pivoted to this model to be able to continue forward those interactions and consultations in a virtual setting while maintaining services for those in need. So thank you and congratulations. We've got 2 from our Lee County Bar Association Pro Bono Committee. We've got our liaison from our executive board, Peter Nyes, and the chair of our committee, Ms. Shanti Bala, who'd like to say a few words. Peter, if you want to go ahead and have some brief remarks.
Thanks, Matt. I just like to say with this Zoom world, it reminds me of Yogi Berra's quote, "The future ain't what it used to be." But thanks for having this put together. And a special shout out to our executive director, Lauren Baugh, who did such a wonderful job. It's such a privilege to be recognized with all of these idols of mine. Ethel Wells, idol of mine. Andrew Banier, idol of mine. Shanthi Belachanthran, idol of mine. Tiffany Piera, idol of mine. And the Honorable Judge Hayward, great honor and an idol of mine. As the liaison for the Lee County Bar Association's Pro Bono, I just want to touch on a couple of things about community outreach, because it's so very important that our volunteer bar associations commit to good community outreach. And I just wanted to touch on two things that we had done. The first one was with help of the Lee County School Board, we were able to reach out to over 1,200 seventh graders during Constitutional Law Week and teach them about the U.S. Constitution. And we had about 40 volunteer lawyers for that event. And we will do that again this January. And we're real excited about that. And it's just a great thing to teach children about the law and the Constitution. And another great event we had, and special shout out to Blair Domenico and Andrew Banier, was our Wills for Warriors event, where we were able to provide 114 veterans and active military members estate planning documents. So there's a great things that are going on in the Lee County Bar Association. And I just want to say one of the best things for me was getting to work with so many great people and developing wonderful relationships. I just like to close with a great quote by our friend Fred Rogers, where he said, "When I was a boy, I would see scary things in the news, and my mother would say to me, 'Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are willing to help.'" So thank you, LCBA, and thank you to our great president, Matt Rostrup.
Peter, thank you, and thank you for all you do with the committee. And I think Mr. Rogers would approve of our pro bono activities and all the great pro bono work. Fred Rogers, great quote. Now, a great pro bono warrior, the chair of our Lee County Bar Association Pro Bono Committee, Shanthi Bala. Please give us some remarks on this year, if you don't mind.
Sure. Thank you, Matthew. As many of you know, the Lee County Bar Association Pro Bono Committee is still in its infancy and was formed just last year as a result of a team effort of many of the people who are in attendance here today. In 2019, we organized a number of CLEs and social service events in the community. In 2020, we didn't let COVID stop us, and we've had the pleasure of offering monthly CLEs for most of the year and have 2 more planned before the year's end. We were fortunate to have more than 150 plus attendees at some of our CLEs and are very proud of our local practitioner community for their pro bono efforts and dedication. One of our upcoming CLEs is next week on October 22nd with Nirupa Natram on diversity and inclusion in the law. And the last one for the year is on November 19th with Indira Demine on the nuts and bolts of running a successful solo practice. And I hope you'll join us for those during the lunch hour. We've had the opportunity to feature some amazing speakers this year, including national tax expert and Professor Francine Lipman from the University of Nevada School of Law, who presented on discrimination in IRS auditing, business attorney Sarah Qureshi from Henderson Franklin, who presented on the CARES Act and the PPP loans, immigration attorney Adonia Simpson with Americans for Immigrant Justice, who presented on immigration policy during coronavirus, and public service attorney Alicia Guerra from the 28th Judicial Circuit Guardian Ad Litem program, who presented on attorney ad litem services. We hope to continue to bring high quality CLEs on diverse topics of interest and fellowship engagements to LCBA members next year on a monthly basis as a free resource for our practitioners, and hope this inspires our colleagues to utilize these tools and their own practice area knowledge to provide pro bono services to our community members. And as we had done in 2019, we also hope to bring back the in-person social aspect of the Pro Bono Committee programming once the pandemic subsides. With that, thank you again, and I hope to see you at one of our upcoming events.
Shanthi, that all sounds fantastic, and thank you for continuing those events for us and continue to plan that out for next year. And I know that once things get a little more back to normal, whatever that looks like, we'll all be there and we'll all be engaged with your leadership. So thank you very much. Second to last, we've got a lady who wears probably about 7 or 8 different hats a day during between our local bar and our state bar and YLD and our exec board and pro bono. Ms. Tiffany Pereira, who's on our exec board for the Lee County Bar, and she's also president of YLD. Please give us a few remarks on YLD and pro bono this year.
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it. First of all, Lauren, thank you so much for that great PowerPoint. I know you put a lot of work into it, so I'm glad you got it up and running. Thank you for this award. I really am honored to be, here with people like Andrew and Ethel and Shanti, and the work they do is great. I think knowledge and facts about pro bono really made me want to learn more about the need and take action. My husband, who's on this call too, Travis Russell, he volunteered regularly, literally weekly for over a year in the legal aid self-help clinic that Andrew was telling you about. He would always be excited to tell me stories from the clinic that day and got such a sense of fulfillment from participating. It really sparked this year's YLD Pro Bono initiative. The initiative was supposed to have 6 trainings and 6 workshops or clinics similar to the self-help clinic, but of course, COVID put a damper in that. But while preparing the grant presentation earlier this year for funding for that initiative, I kind of delved into Florida Bar reporting and statistics. The most timely information I had when I put it together, and Dory provided us with some more up-to-date figures this morning or earlier, saying that there was 1.2 million hours performed last year. When I looked back at pro bono, looking back moving forward, which was a study prepared for the Florida Supreme Court and the Florida Bar Standing Committee on pro bono legal service, it discussed factors that it would encourage respondents to do more pro bono work and important factors for why they didn't. People cited things such as lack of time, family obligations, lack of skills or experience, or malpractice insurance, lack of administrative support and resources, and many other things. Here in Lee County, we have many apologies, there's a toddler here today, so half day at school, of course. I think in Lee County, we have many opportunities that can negate and address many of those factors. As Carolyn from Frills said earlier, she directly addressed that and talked about covering malpractice and some of your fees. As far as Andrew's clinic, I've only logged on a handful of times, and it's great because even if you don't know about the practice area, someone else does. So you'll walk away learning too. And then you can wait to contribute until it's something you know about. As far as things being family friendly, Zoom has really helped with that. I've always brought my family to law in the mall. Some of the factors that would encourage people to do more work, free CLEs and training. Shanti and the Pro Bono Committee and Frills have really done a great job of putting together opportunities for that this year. So I really hope to see next year the YLD initiative carried out further, many trainings, especially for young lawyers. Maybe you're at a job where you're so concerned about billing, you don't know that you have time, but you really do. The figures I had that are a little outdated were, of the over 107,000 attorneys, there was about 1.581 million hours reported in the 2017 to 2018 bar year, which averages to be about 14.8 hours per attorney in a bar that asks for 20 or more. And yes, money is great. Please donate, but perform these too, because there's just such a need. And if you have an idea or there's something you want to see or a training, you have some great leaders locally that want to help you. One part about going last, though, is that a lot of people touched on some of my points, and Dory definitely got my thunder on this one, but the YLD is looking for volunteers to take calls for the Disaster Legal Services Hotline that's in conjunction with ABA and FEMA. You can find out more about this on the Florida Bar website or YLD Facebook. Myself and Kayla Richmond is on here too, and we both serve on the YLD Board of Governors, and we're happy to talk to you about that and other state initiatives. But locally, I've just got to say, even if you can jump on the clinic via Zoom on a Tuesday, anytime between 1 and 4:30 p.m., Dory talked about mental health, and it's really such a good feeling giving back and being able to log on even just for 10 minutes if you can, just something. So thank you. And again, thank you all for being here today and celebrating, and do pro bono.
Tiffany, thank you. And again, thank you for all you do in your many roles with the bar and the YLD here at the local level and state level. I'm going to check my screen real quick. The last person I want to take a moment to acknowledge and see if they want to say a few words, but they may be a little busy, was Judge Hayward, who serves as the judicial liaison for and a member of our pro bono committee. Looking on here, it appears as though Judge Hayward is diligently ensuring the integrity of our elections down at the election center as part of the alternate for the canvassing board. But want to recognize, and we want to recognize Judge Hayward as well as one of our organizational leaders. Coming from the bench, everyone knows it's so important to have that support and that teamwork along with our judiciary, not just our practitioners, when it comes to guidance on pro bono and being a cheerleader for pro bono. So his support coming from the bench and his show of support from our judiciary is incredibly appreciated, along with his involvement. So thank you, Judge Hayward. Well, that is going to wrap up our award ceremony. Again, I wish we could be in person to be able to share these stories with each other and all the great things that have taken place over the year. I mean, this goes to show that if you do feel the call for pro bono, one of the other purposes today is not only do we like to recognize our champions of pro bono, but also make the call. There are no shameless plugs in pro bono. Every plug for a pro bono organization is wholly welcomed. So from Florida Rural to Legal Aid Society to the Pro Bono Committee, there are opportunities everywhere, and people you can call, as you've seen on this award ceremony today. If you feel that call to do pro bono, thank you. If you feel that others are looking for that opportunity, please guide them in the right direction, because there are so many opportunities available, and we want to make sure that everybody has that opportunity to give back if they so choose. So thank you all for being here. I think we're still going to try and do the group photo. So Zabo, it looks like you've got a sprinkled donut in your background, which is great, or a pool float, which is awesome. Hitting the pool right after this, I'm sure. Short hours at Henderson Franklin. So everybody, if you want to smile, we're going to take our group photo, and I'm not sure how we're going to get notification of that.
I'm going to put my shark in there.
Tiffany, is it taken?
It wasn't my job, but in case Lauren didn't do it, I did get a screenshot of both sides. So
I got it. Sorry.
All right.
On two computers.
If your eyes were closed, tough luck. We already took it. So everybody, thank you. We're going to send your awards and your plaques out to honor your service. Thank you for being here. We look forward to doing it next year under our circumstance of all being back together again. Also want to thank one more time President Dory Foss Morales. Dory, thank you for being here and being a cheerleader for us down here in Lee County and part of our bar association across the state. So everybody, awesome year. Can't thank you enough. You all have selflessly given your time, which I know is not easy, especially in these days. So Carolyn, Ethel, Andrew, Shanti, everybody, thank you for everything that you do and leading us in pro bono. I want to wish everybody a great Friday, a happy weekend, stay safe, stay healthy, and I really hope to see y'all again soon.
Thank you.